I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be. And what is that? A high school student that loves making YouTube videos about movies. I'm back in black. And this time is my review for The Dark Knight. Now, I forgot to show this last time on my other videos, but this is where I've been watching my movie. I have the whole trilogy right here. It says, if you can read that, I don't know if it's gonna come up backwards, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, which will be later. But right now, let's focus on The Dark Knight, which, my opinion, in one word, no, three words, I'll say 4 words. Wait, one of my favorite sequels of all time. 8 words, okay, whatever. One of my favorite sequels of all time. For those of you that haven't seen this movie, don't worry, no spoilers. I don't like to ruin people's experience in watching a movie. You know, if you want for me to ever make a spoiler review, just let me know. But as for now, I'll be making spoiler-free reviews for those that have not seen any of those movies. Really quickly, if you haven't seen The Dark Knight, where have you been? Gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie, and I can't tell you how many times it's gotten better and better, and it just doesn't get old to me. Let's start. Hold on one second. I gotta do this with the mask. I don't know if I should be doing this throughout the whole video or just really quickly. I can't do this. That's too... It gets hot in there. For those of you that have seen Batman Begins and that think this is a really good movie, The Dark Knight just takes it over to another level. It's more gritty, it's more intense, more action. We get to see more Batman and Joker. One word, Joker. And it's just, oof, I don't know how, where should I start with this? This movie starts off with a pretty cool looking scene. I don't want to go in detail, but it's a way to get us started into the movie with action and everything. Like right from the get-go, this movie has, you know, intensity. Once again, the thing about this movie that I really like is the realism of this movie. Most superhero movies, they could be fictional or whatever, but the Batman, it's realistic. If somebody was a billionaire and decided to waste all their money, not waste, but invest all their money in all these gadgets and time to learn how to fight, like, it's realistic. If something like this really happened, that would be me. Another point of the realism is the villains. You have to imagine this movie, like, it's just so realistic. The villains are there too. Like, Batman has so many villains. He's probably one of the characters that has the most villains of all time, besides Spider-Man or anything. But if you try to imagine this movie to have, like, Killer Croc or Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy, like, it's kind of hard to make that realistic or believable. This movie does a really good job of having the Joker as a really gritty, grounded, and relatable villain, in a sense. Not necessarily relatable, but that we can understand why he does these things that he does. Everybody knows the Joker's like this insane guy that likes to cause a lot of chaos, and this movie does a really good job making us understand, in a sort of sense, why he does these things. We don't approve him for it, we don't support him, but we kind of understand. Like, he has a good point as to what he believes in. His morals are like the complete opposite of Batman's, and it's hard to decide because we understand Batman's side of what he sees society, and the Joker has his own, that he knows the dark side of it all, like the real grittiness, and he brings it out in this movie. You can understand his beliefs. Like, he likes to bring the chaos into things, and he believes that all these civilized people in the world, you know, if the chips are down, they just go insane, rip each other apart. Kind of scary to believe that, but he has a point. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. You made a really good performance here. This is like a lifetime performance he would have made. And you know, as another character in the movie that is just really good is Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent is like very similar to Batman character wise. The difference is he likes to do his things in legal terms. He's like the new DA agent in Gotham City. Aaron Eckhart in this movie does a really good job. Like you really see him do like even beyond when he does a full 180 flip and character arc in this movie. It's just, and I'm trying not to get into spoilers, but that's all I'm gonna say, that he's a really great character. We understand his side and what he believes in. Alfred is back, you know, as always. He's gotta love him. He's like the comic relief of this movie, and he's just an old wise guy. I love the people like that. I want to give him a hug. You know what I'm saying? Rachel Dawes. They made a recasting for Rachel Dawes, but I honestly didn't mind this recasting. What was the last one for the Batman Begins? I think it was like Katie Holmes, and now it's like Megan Gyllenhaal, if I can remember the names. And I honestly think Megan Gyllenhaal did a better job as Rachel Dawes as Katie Holmes did. Back to what I was saying about the realistic villains. It's not just like Batman's villains or anything like main character villains like the ones you would see in the comics or in the Batman games. Like, they include the mob into this movie, and that's really where all the crime comes from. Like an organization of bad guys that just do their bad stuff. I don't know what exactly they do, but they're a mob. Like, they make money, they have power, they bring fear to others, and it's realistic. Another thing about this movie, Batman's new suit. He gets an upgrade on this suit, and it's just something I wish I owned. I thought his suit from Batman Begins was really cool, and this one just takes it up to another level. It's more detailed, it's more agile. Like, it's an upgrade for a reason. The Bat suit in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises are my favorite in all of them. And I don't know, I guess it's just something about this trilogy that is just so realistic that I prefer it over the comical movies like the previous ones. This movie can get kind of gritty, kind of dark, something that we wouldn't expect from like a Batman movie. Well, yes, now we would expect it from a Batman movie, but back in the day, it was more comical, more neon colors and cartoony looking Gotham. Whereas now that Christopher Nolan has had the plate to make these Batman movies, oof, it's PG-13 for a reason. That's all I'm gonna say. It's really good, really gritty, really dark, but in a good sense. Another thing about this Batman character is that we get to see the detective side of Batman. If people don't know too well about Batman, he's not only a crime fighter, or a billionaire, or owner of his company, he is also like arguably the world's greatest detective. And I strongly believe that. Like, if him and Sherlock Holmes played a little game of hide and seek, Batman would. And you get to see that played really well in his detective side in this movie. It's not just, you know, fighting crime, but he utilizes all of his gadgets and everything in the right ways, and it's really cool to see it. For the first time in all these movies, if you've played any of the Batman games, you'll know what I'm talking about. When in those games, you get to turn on this sort of vision that's called detective mode, and in this movie, he utilizes that. And it just looks really cool seeing it played out on a movie screen, and it's really, it's kind of confusing, but it's cool to see at the same time. My favorite scene in the movie, not by far, but by so many reasons, is this interrogation scene in the movie. I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it, but it's very, how do I say it? It's just great. My favorite scene. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to spoil the ending, obviously, but it's just... awesome. I don't know how else to say it. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just the ending was just 10 out of 10. I wanted to change something about my ratings. Instead of making things out of 10, I'll make it out of 5. So if you could just, for my other reviews, just divide whatever I got, divide it by 2, and that'll be it. Let me do this. The Dark Knight gets 5 out of 5. And with good reasons too. I really recommend you guys to watch it if you have not seen it. soon enough, I'll be closing off this trilogy with The Dark Knight Rises, which can't wait to do that one either. And we're getting closer and closer to Dawn of Justice, so can't wait for that movie. And I highly recommend you guys to watch this movie. And I haven't made any like catchphrases or official send-offs. I kind of just do my own things. So see you in the dark.